Morning, everybody. Wednesday. Hopefully everyone's recovered from our ordeal yesterday. I could still use some sleep. I'll tell you that much. I'm still tired. That took a lot out of me. I'm not gonna lie. A lot more than I thought it would take. I was worn out after that episode. Absolutely worn out. But it's another day. And this time we don't got to deal with that. This time we know what kind of issue we're dealing with right up front in this particular episode. But that was an interesting one. I'll say that much. That was interesting. I did not see it going that way. I can say that. But hopefully somebody learns something. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what you would learn, but anyway, we're going to deal with another crazy person today, too. Another one. Now, how many of you are aware of the Garden of Eden and the actions of Adam and Eve and the role that Lucifer played? Because I think many want to make mankind the target of the stories in the book, but they're not. And so we kind of paint ourselves to be this, if we don't recognize our greatness because of what God did, and we won't succeed. No, not two in a row. Not two in a row. And you'll hear what I mean in a minute, because it's interesting. So I'll let him say what he's got to say. He's got a bit of an accent. I think it's Irish. So just bear with it, and we'll talk about what he says, okay?
And yet out there are people desperate for a bigger manifestation of the church than what we're giving them. Like desperate for somebody to say, silver and gold have I not, but what I have, I give you. In Jesus' name walk. Or let me now describe your angels or your colors or your, what's going on with your body. Let me now describe what's going on with your body just by feeling it. You know the enemy creates nothing. He only counterfeits. And if the enemy can counterfeit stuff, what are we doing? We're afraid of this. We are selectively supernatural. We have become selectively supernatural that we'll accept tongues, prophecy, deliverance, legs raising, legs growing out. Hopefully they stop at some point. You're not like, but we'll accept all those things. We'll accept cancer being gone in Jesus' name. But out there, people want more than that. They want more than healings because they can get it at plenty of places. And everybody that's going to see you think of the superhero stuff. This isn't just marketing. This is something in us that knows we're built for more. There is something inside of us that is the DNA of God. Like we are created in His image. In His image, we look just like Him. The first sin was not pride. You understand that? The first sin wasn't pride. The first sin was that you didn't believe you looked like your father.
Now, I'm not quite sure where he got that from, because he didn't cite any reference points. But we're going to pose a question to you guys. Was pride not the first sin, and was our first sin just believing that we did not look like our Father? I guess what I would have to find out is what he means by sin. Is it talking about human or anything against God? That's what I would have to quantify his statements by. Now, if he says the first human sin wasn't pride. Even there, I might have to push back. But let's look at the grandiose scheme, because remember that Lucifer was cast out before mankind was made. Remember that. So it's not like it's unfathomable that if you count anything against God as sin, that the devil rising up in pride was the first sin. But what he is saying is that our first sin wasn't pride, even though it really was, because we thought we knew better than God by listening to the devil. Because God told them that, hey, what, you die, right? And they were like, nah, I don't think so. But if he's saying that the first sin is not believing that we look like our father, where would he get that from? I don't recall ever reading anything of the kind in the book. And if God was going to punish us for the sin, he would have said it, wouldn't it? And I'm pretty sure he said it. I'm pretty sure that he said exactly what the sin was that Adam and Eve did. Unless maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm just tripping. Maybe God didn't do that. Maybe y'all can refresh my memory. Did God not list out the trouble? Did he tell him exactly what the fall caused, what the sin, and then the punishment was? I'm pretty sure he laid that out. Well, let's go find out. All right, let's go find out. Because I think we need to find a reference point for what he's talking about. Let's go all the way to Adam and Eve. The serpent was more cunning than any beast of the field which the Lord God had made. And he said to the woman, has God indeed said, you shall not eat of every tree in the garden? If you look, Satan knows how to cover and gloss over stuff. And the woman said to the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God said, you shall not eat it, nor shall you touch it, lest you die. Then the serpent said to the woman, you will not surely die, for God knows in the day you eat of it, your eyes will be open, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil. Now, pride is indeed, even in the garden, the very first thing. Because it got the better of her wanting to be more. Now, I'm still trying to figure out how he could have arrived at this concept that forgetting we looked like our father was the first sin. But they have to do that. Okay, I'll come back to this in a second. They have to paint mankind as this superhero. These so-called apostles and false people. They have to give mankind a base on which to keep themselves as you're spectacular. You are it. It is all about you. And especially if they say, well, we know you look just, I'm pretty sure that the devil had that same mindset. In fact, I'm 100% sure the devil had that same mindset. And we'll read it right here. Oh, how you have fallen from the heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning. How you are cut down to the ground, you are weakened the nations, for you have said in your heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God, and I will also sit on the mount of the congregation and the farthest sides of the north. Pride. And how did he talk to Adam and Eve? You'll be knowledgeable above. So yes, indeed, pride was the first. Not forgetting how you are exactly like God, because that was not what he meant by in his image. But people will try to make everything about them being most important. He said something earlier too in his little rant that I want to go back to. If you don't mind, I'll go back to the beginning of it, and I want you to listen carefully. I'll stop it when I hear it.
And yet out there are people there are people desperate for a bigger manifestation of the church than what we're giving them.
There, that one. People are looking for a bigger manifestation of the church. Isn't the goal of the church to give people a bigger avenue to God? Not the focus isn't us. Again, this is what they do. They have to make it them, all about them. But it's about him, not us. They're not looking for a bigger manifestation of the church. We are supposed to introduce people to God. But if you want to have them come to church all the time, of course you're going to have all kinds of crazy stuff you're going to bring up. Like he's going to mention here.
Like desperate for somebody to say, silver and gold have I not, but what I have, I give you. In Jesus' name walk. Or let me now describe your angels or your colors or your, what's going on with your body. Let me now describe what's going on with your body just by feeling it.
And where is that, again, biblically? It's nowhere to be found. Like, not at all. You've never heard anywhere in the Bible, read anywhere in the Bible, where an apostle, a prophet, anyone put their hand on someone to feel their colors and to tell them what kinds of angels are around them. Like, what? That's not even a manifestation of the church. I don't even know what that's supposed to be. That sounds like you're on some psychedelics, buddy. That sounds like you're on psychedelics and you're about to sing A Horse with No Name. Like, for real. In case you all didn't catch that Horse with No Name thing, you probably got to go back a little bit in the music world to understand that song. That's one of my favorite songs, by the way. Horse with No Name. You got to be that level of high. Look, you have to be. Psychedelics is what he's on. I have never. There was another song, okay, and Chris Rice, I think, is the one who sang it, and he said the song is The Color Nine. Okay, Color Nine. And the chorus is, sometimes finding you is just like trying to smell the color 9. That's the level of high this guy's at. He can smell the color 9. Yeah. It's nowhere in the book. It's not biblical, but it sounds good. It sounds good, real good. It's done by America, by the way. Horse with No Name is done by America. Yeah, way back in the 70s. I think it was late 60s that one came out. But this is what they believe the church is about, right? The church isn't now a body that follows God. It's a body that entertains and wants to bring you to an elevated point of knowing who you are as a God child. Remember last week we talked about the small God thing, the syndrome? That's what this is. You're just like him. All you got to do is remember that you're like him. You are a little G God. Now, if you listen carefully again, you'll hear the types of miracles he's talking about.
You know the enemy creates nothing. He only counterfeits. And if the enemy can counterfeit stuff, what are we doing? We're afraid of this. We are selectively supernatural. We have become selectively supernatural that we'll accept tongues, prophecy, deliverance, legs raising, legs growing out. Hopefully they stop at some point. You're not like, but we'll accept all those things. We'll accept cancer being gone in Jesus' name. But out there, people want more than that.
People want more than that? What do you mean people need more than that? If that is what your goal is, to hand people and not God himself and just that he's enough, then you're not doing your job, buddy. People need more than that? What? How? People need to be even more. How's that gladiator? Are you not entertained? That's what they want. So you got to bring people to the body and make sure you have a nice big sideshow, Barnum and Bailey circus, right? That's what you got to have. Look at his feet growing long. Oh, that's not enough. We need more. Look at that blood retract. Oh, we need more. What? How? Well, you see, because people like him are the ones that will push all the fanfare of the side of God that they consider, amazing, to try and gain people to come to them to see the show. They never encountered a person the show is about. They always just see the show, which is why he said that the people want more. And we have to give them more. People need more. No, they don't.
They want more than healings because they can get it at plenty of places.
What? So it's all about the act. It's all about the act. It's not even about the person that gives you the possibility for it's about the act. Oh, they can get healing everywhere. It doesn't matter. But we need more than just healing. Because it's been all about healing. That's why healing is now so trivial to you. Every act of God has become trivial to them. You know, junkies, right? And I can say not just for drug addicts, but even with pornography, right? Here's how it normally starts. You start with something small, something fairly docile, things you can even do in front of people. All right. You can, take a hit and still function in front of people. You can go watch pornography and still function in front of people. And before too long, the little bit becomes not enough. And you got to up the ante a little bit more. And then you start doing more, but it's still not, you got to have that next level. You got to go to the next level of depravity. That's how these people are. That they will bring you to say, okay, we're gonna heal the sick today. Whoop, 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 whoop. And then you say, well, everybody healed, so we got to do something more. What else can we do? We could say we raised the dead. Okay, let's say that we raised the dead. Now more people are coming to see us. Ooh, man, we got to be more extravagant though. Why do you think people like Michael Todd do that in their services? Why do you think they do the kinds of antics they do in their services? Because they got to have that one upmanship going on. They have to do more. Always one step more to bring more people. That's the craziest church I've been to. Wow, that's amazing. And they have to have that fanfare. They have to have that fanfare. Which is why he's asking to go to the next level. You even hear what's Sarah Jakes talk about that, the next dimension. They have to keep up. It's a drug. They are addicted to the limelight of what they consider godliness. And they have to do the next extreme thing to get people shocked into following them. But they can't show you anywhere in the book. They can't tell you anywhere where it matches up to God. Not one spot.
And everybody that's going to see you think of this superhero stuff, this isn't just marketing. This is something in us that knows we're built for more. There is something inside of us that is the DNA of God.
You're not built for more. You're built for one purpose. You aren't built for more. You were built, and I'm sorry to say it like this, to be a puppet. You were built to be a puppet, but you're a puppet at a master puppeteer. It's his show. You're not built for more. Technically, you're built in obsolescence if you really look at it, because since the fall, you're gonna die. And this body will be consumed. And this so-called God nature that people like to talk about, it's not a God nature. It's his life. It's his life. You are living in his life. It's not like you've all of a sudden just become a God. It's insane to me.
Like, we are created in his image. In his image, we look just like him. The first sin was not pride.
And as he's operating in it. He's talking about sin not being the first sin, pride not being the first sin, while he's indulging in pride. I tell you, these people.
You understand that? The first sin wasn't pride. The first sin was that you didn't believe you looked like your father.
Now let's go back to Genesis and see if that is true. Okay, let's finish reading Genesis 3 and see if that's true. So the woman saw that the tree was good for food and that it was pleasant to the eyes and a tree desirable to make one wise. She took of it and ate. Pride. She knew better than God. That's pride. You think all pride is? No. Pride is also knowledge and life. Pride of life. You heard that right? She also gave to her husband with her, and he ate. And their eyes of both of them were open, and they knew that they were naked, and sewed fig leaves together and made themselves coverings. Then they heard the sound of the Lord walking in the garden in the cool of the day, and Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Lord among the trees of the garden. Then the Lord called to Adam and said to him, "Where are you?" Notice he called Adam. So he said, "I heard your voice in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked, and I hid myself." And God said, "Who told you were naked? Have you eaten of the tree which I commanded you not to eat?" Then the man said, "The woman who you gave to be with me, she gave me of the tree, and I ate." Now, technically, he's not lying, but he is lying. Just has two sins now. Deflection. We're going to see if the punishment was for forgetting that he looked like God. Remember, that's the claim. Our first sin, which would have been the very first thing that would have been it. Forgetting who we look like is a sin in that guy's mind. Okay, I'm looking to find it here. The man said, "The woman you gave me to be with me, she gave me and I ate it." The Lord said to the woman, "What is this you have done?" The woman said, "The serpent deceived me and I ate." So the Lord said to the serpent, here he goes from bottom to top for the consequences of the sin, original sin. "Because you have done this, you are cursed more than all cattle and more than every beast of the field. On your belly you shall go and you shall eat dust all the days of your life, and I'll put enmity between you and the woman, and between your seed and her seed. And he shall bruise your head, and you shall bruise his heel." His heel. "And to the woman he said, I will greatly multiply your sorrow and your conception. In pain you shall bring forth children, and your desire shall be for your husband, and he shall rule over you." I'm still waiting to see this idea, this concept that he's talking about, that we forgot that we looked like God, and that was our first sin. Then he said to Adam, because you have heeded the voice of your wife, and have eaten from the tree which I commanded you, saying, you shall not eat of it. I don't see this anywhere. Cursed is the ground for your sake. In toil you shall eat of it all the days of your life, but thorns and thistles it shall bring forth for you. And you shall eat the herb of the field, in the sweat of your face you shall eat bread, till you return to the ground, from out of it you are taken, for dust you are, and to dust you shall return. I don't see that statement anywhere, anywhere there. I don't see it. But this is what they like to do. Why? Because they make it about us. And this is, it has been, unfortunately, it's become the trademark of pastors everywhere. And I know there are a few more left that aren't doing this. But the ones that get the most limelight and intrigue the most people are ones that think like that. It's about you. When they read, for God so loved the world, they think, oh man, I'm part of the world. I must be really awesome that he loves me. Not, even with being so evil, God still found a way. They don't think of it that way because they are more important. It's how they work now. There's a big movement now all of a sudden for these mega pastors to come out saying that you shall, and well, it's not a recent movement, but you've probably heard them all saying, touch not my, God's anointed, in order for you to stop talking about them, because they really do believe that they are that high up and that important that you ought not to say anything ill about their behavior. That's where we've come to now. When they've forgotten scriptures that say, rebuke, exhort, and teach one another, they forget that part because they're above that. They're above that. This is what it is. And he's not one of those mega ones. He's up there, but he's not the mega. It's starting to get more and more trickling down and down and down to the smaller network of people now. I keep hearing people talk about this awakening, great awakening, great awakening. I don't think anything of the sort is going to happen. I'm convinced that it'll be the complete opposite. I think you're going to see more and more people abandon this idea of God and do their own thing. They're going to do it. It was told to us. They're going to be a great falling away. But you know how it's going to show up? It's going to show up in the form of, oh, I'm not falling away. We are really following God. Their falling away is going to look as though they're the most religious people ever. But at the end, they're not actually worshiping God. They're worshiping themselves. So you might see tons of churches opening up everywhere. And you'll think to yourself, the Great Awakening is happening, but you're not asking yourself what's taking place inside of those churches. There are tons opening, but now they're bringing in every sort of apostasy, and they're bringing in all kinds of levels of depravity into the building, into the church, and it is no longer resembles God's body. It's something else now. Flags everywhere, different types of things and entities into the pulpit. Accept this or you're done. So that's what I see happening. And I think the next thing is also the denouncing of God, period. Kind of like what was happening yesterday. And you'll see that more and more. More and more, you'll see that. And it is unfortunate. It is unfortunate. Tomorrow, though, I want to have a philosophical discussion with you guys. Um, and it's gonna circle the idea of why is mankind hell bent. And I mean, in their thought process, I understand the fall, but we're gonna try and just kind of crack that open a little bit more than it's just a matter of the fall. You'll understand more when I break it into it, but I think there's something bigger happening that we're just not, and I think it's just under the surface. Like there's something that's about to just go haywire when it comes to the church. Almost like there's something seething underneath. I don't know what exactly it is, but it feels weird. I don't know if y'all feel it too, but it feels weird. There's something coming. I just don't know what. I just don't know what. Today, if you guys are interested, Savage Patriot will be on 6:30 Eastern. A really big topic. You can't miss this one. Um, don't forget, in 2 weeks, the seminar kicks off. If you guys haven't planned your stuff yet, you're out of time, or almost out of time. 2 weeks it kicks off, and I'm getting everything here ready and for you guys. Okay, so just I'll double check all the emails and I'll send out a email chain this week, and hopefully give you a little bit of a printout next week as well, so you can bring it with you for the event. I'll go through all the emails and stuff, so make sure you all keep your eye out for the emails. Please do keep an eye out. Can't think of anything else. Oh, there is one thing coming up that I will need your guys' help with. It is kind of an urgent situation, and it is family related, but not here family, but back home family related. And I'll give you all the details when I do that. It might be Friday that I'll do that show about that, but it is vital. I do need your help on this one. Um, yes, it is over here in Washington State. Yep. I'll be streaming it the first day, and once I do that, then you guys can see at least the first day. I don't have an emailing list, but the people I will be emailing about the platform, about the event, have already signed up. The sign up dates are cut off already, but all of them that are in there, I'll go in this week and I'll send you reminder emails about the event. Okay. Yeah. I'm looking forward to meeting all who are coming. I tell you that much. I think it'll be really cool. I think it'll be real cool to finally meet most of you. But yes, 24th, 25th, 26th is the dates. And just remember that you're almost out of time. Get your stuff together. And don't say you weren't warned. Okay. Don't say you weren't warned. You were told. You were told. Scrolling at the bottom. You can and can't do. It would be for my nephew actually, and when you see what I'm going to show you, you'll understand. Um, the one that has the special needs daughter. Yeah, so there's some crazy things that I want to help him with, but it'd be great if I could get you guys to assist in it as well. That'd be great. In any case, I'll be back later on Savage Patriots. Don't miss that. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. Wisdom calls to you from the streets, so please, please, please find wisdom. Peace.
Hold tight the dreams, for if dreams die, rely on yourself and no